Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I apologise for the background noise. I will be muting myself as soon as possible. You join me and the awesome Cam from Institutional 5, where we will be Cam will be giving us a rapid roundup of latest pricing flows and market moving news in crypto markets. I'm currently stood outside having a beer outside the Bloomberg building, which is why it's so busy and so noisy. Before we get underway, nothing discussed on this basis session constitutes trade or investment advice or infers any kind of endorsement by PIQ, myself, Ryan Paisley, Institutional Fi, or indeed that of Cam. Cam, how are you, my darling?
I'm okay, Ryan. Apart from you giving me a heart attack with that intro, flipping it, that was noisy.
Sorry, mate, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No, it was brilliant. Yeah, even though I found it funny. Yeah, proper wake me up. That was awesome. It sounds like you're having a great time.
Well, I'm having a beer with some friends. You know me, it's a Friday. And then
Exactly.
I've got, here's a bit of, you're like this. Then I've got a cigar cruise down the Thames a bit later on. So, it's living the dream on Independence Day.
Oh, it's a hard life. It's a hard life. What the Americans are missing. Right, let's crack on with the crypto blast. We'll start with the crypto market update and then we'll move on to the news. So BTC managed to move within just 1.3% of its all-time high yesterday, reaching a high of day of $110,495. This high printed an hour after the US NFP data was released, and within the next few hours, BTC retraced all the way down to $108,900. And it has been trading within a tight 1% range since then, seeing an overnight high of $110,000. It's interesting to note, just a little stat, BTC's relative volatility has been in a structural downtrend and is now on par with the S&P 500 over the past 3 months. This data point is comparing the ratio of Bitcoin to the S&P 500 60-day realized volatility. So we're seeing Bitcoin's relative volatility come down consecutively here. If we look over to the Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETF flows for yesterday, which has been the 3rd of July, Bitcoin ETF saw $601.8 million flow in on a net basis, and Ethereum saw $148 million flow in for the ETFs on a net basis. Now, despite the positive flows for Ethereum, it's been experienced quite a wide range of volatility yesterday. ETH rallied to $2,637, but since yesterday's high of day, fell more than 4%, down to $2,528. This is right to the 50-day moving average that we've been talking about over the last week. So now ETH sits above its 50-day and 200-day moving averages at around $2,560. So, shaping up to continue what could be a bullish trend in momentum. If we move down the market cap list, Solana is trading at $150, XRP at $2.23, and BNB is trading at $658. Onto the news. The US House Committee has claimed July week commencing the 14th as Crypto Week. Now, the focus for this week will be the Clarity Act, the Anti-CBD Surveillance Act, and the Genius Act. You might already be familiar with the Genius Act, which stands for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for US Stablecoins. But the Clarity Act aims to resolve a decade-long regulatory conflict between the SEC and the CFTC over crypto jurisdiction. And the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act is exactly what it means on the tin. It prohibits the Federal Reserve from issuing a central bank digital currency directly to individuals, aligning with privacy concerns raised by the 2025 public debate on government digital surveillance. Moving across to Robinhood-owned crypto exchange Bitstamp has announced that it has received a major payment institution license from the Monetary Authority in Singapore, officially launching its business expansion in the Asia-Pacific region. Bitstamp also holds a MiCA license to operate in Europe, as well as the relevant licenses in the US, and in the UK, they hold a license from the FCA. The IMF has rejected Pakistan's proposal to subsidize electricity prices for Bitcoin mining, citing reasons including increased burden on the power system, legal risks, and potential market disruption. Pakistan announced plans to allocate around 2,000 megawatts of electricity for crypto mining and AI data centers. Tether is partnering with Ardiko Agro which was a mouthful to say, a South American agricultural company, to launch a Bitcoin mining project in Brazil, powered by renewable energy. By leveraging Ardicoa Grow's 230 megawatt renewable energy capacity, previously sold in the spot market, the project aims to create a sustainable Bitcoin mining operation. Of course, this aligns with that growing trend in the crypto industry at the moment to use green energy for mining to reduce the environmental impact. Nano Labs Limited, which trades under the Nasdaq with the ticker NA, announced that it had purchased around 74,315 BNB tokens via OTC at an average price of around $672, which looks like they actually paid a premium for that one. With a total transaction volume of around $50 million. And this brings up their reserves of major digital assets such as Bitcoin and BNB, so approximately $160 million. DeFi Development Corporation, which also trades under the Nasdaq, listed with the ticker DFDV, announced the purchase of around 17,000 Solana tokens on July 3rd, at an average price of approximately $153 per token. This brings their SOL-related investments up to around $99 million. So we're starting to see quite a few of those alternative assets creeping up with the corporations buying them. JP Morgan
That treasury basket is definitely expanding, isn't it? Expanding? Expanding?
Expanding. Yeah, I like that
yeah,
one.
I did a U then. Expanding. But I'll start again. The treasury basket is definitely getting bigger. There we go.
He's moved up north. Yeah, exactly. You are spot on the money there. JP Morgan forecasts that the stable market will reach around $500 billion by 2028. Well, this is actually well below the, multiple $1 trillion projections that other outlets are forecasting. If we take a look at the current stablecoin market cap, it sits just shy of $259 billion. And an interesting note, Tether minted around $1 billion last night. And typically they don't just do one mint, they'll do a couple of days of minting. So we could expect the market cap to increase by several billion over the next week alone. So that's quite a soft forecast coming from JP Morgan. According to Bloomberg, early Bitcoin whales have sold around 500,000 BTC in the past year. This is going to bring their total to over the worth and value of over $50 billion, roughly matching the net outflows that we've seen in US Bitcoin ETFs. But at the same time, this is a really interesting fact. At the same time, institutional investors, including ETFs, corporate treasuries, and asset managers, have accumulated about 900,000 BTC. This is bringing their total to holdings to approximately 4.8 million coins. That is 1/4 of the circulating supply of Bitcoin. So,
wow,
a very, very short time to accumulate a staggering amount of Bitcoin. And so it'll be interesting to monitor this over the next year. To see how, this figure differentiates between the last year of then buying up all this Bitcoin to the next year. And it's also not surprising that this has probably played a part in seeing the volatility index start lowering compared to the S&P 500 as well. No doubt that played a part in that. A dormant address containing around 10,000 BTC, just over $1 billion, was just activated last night after 14 years of inactivity. The 10,000 Bitcoins were purchased for just over $7,700 in 2011. So not a bad return. But if you thought that was pretty good return on your investment there, according to Look On Chain, another Bitcoin account, wallet address, that has been dormant for over 14 years, transferred 20,000 BTC to a new address today, worth over $2.1 billion. And the Bitcoins are originally bought for 78 cents a BTC, yielding over 100. I know. What an average. So they managed to yield over 140,000% in return on their investment.
We both know someone that's long from $7. And I always think that's the best long and hold that I know of. But yeah, when you're sub $1, Yeah. All right. Yeah, I cannot I cannot doff my cap enough.
I just bow.
To be
Yeah,
honest, I'm
no,
half tempted to go
absolutely.
down Screwfix Direct and buy some knee pads if anyone knows where he is.
Anyway, moving on. We said on Wednesday,
Sorry.
another image brought to you by Ryan. Um, we said on Wednesday that FTX was just not going to escape the news headlines just yet, and they're back with another story. FTX has asked the courts to approve a new process for handling claims from 49 restricted jurisdictions where crypto is banned or limited. So if legal advice allows, payouts will proceed. Otherwise, affected claims may be disturbed and denied. Over 82% of the value comes from Chinese users. So it looks like there could be quite a few accounts not being paid back their money. So according to Reuters, JD.com and Alibaba's Ant Group are urging China's central bank to authorize yen-based stablecoins. They propose launching stablecoins in Hong Kong pegged to offshore yen. Europe's largest asset manager, Abundi, yeah, I said that right, says US stablecoins policies could destabilize global payment systems. And this was a story that came out from Reuters yesterday. Interestingly, if you'd like to have a little read on that and the effects that stablecoins could have on global monetary systems and especially tokenization, I did run through the BIS's report on Substack in quite a bit of detail. And there is an impact, but actually, given that stablecoins are the third largest buyers of treasuries, it could be negative if they stop buying, rather than positive if they stop buying. So yeah, they do have a massive impact to play in the global monetary system already. So you may not know that. Swiss bank, Amnia, am I saying that right? Bank becomes the first global bank to support Ripple's new stablecoin, RLUSD. And this is actually you mentioned this briefly on the Morning Blast yesterday. Senti Labs has reported that North Korean hackers are targeting Apple users in the cryptocurrency sector with a sophisticated malware campaign named NIMDOR. This malware, written in the uncommon NIM programming language. If you're a programmer listening in right now, hopefully you keep it in your pants. Is delivered through a fake Zoom updates or social engineering tactics, such as impersonating trusted contacts on Telegram, and the like. The campaign, observed since around April of this year, aims to steal cryptocurrency wallet credentials, browser data, and Telegram user information. Yes, Ryan. Yeah, he's like all about the hackers. Nimdor uses advanced techniques like processes injections, Apple scripts for persistence, and enhanced communications to evade detection and maintain access even after system reboot. So even turning your phone off, if you think that you're being attacked, is not going to be able to stop this one. So be very, very cautious if you're using an Apple device and you have crypto on your phone. Just get a hardware wallet. It's probably going to be the safest option for you if you find yourself in that situation, and keep it offline. Another update for Ripple. Ripple applies for a US national banking license to bring RLUSD under federal oversight. And this was a story coming from the Wall Street Journal. And lastly, Bybit is now the third largest revenue generating ETF for BlackRock out of their 1,197 funds, and is only $9 billion away from being number one. Just another insane stat for the ETF, which is only a year and a half old. Although I did say that was the last one, but is another one for you. SSK, which is the Osprey Rex, Solana and staking ETF, ended its first day of trading with over $33 million in volume. And this blows away anything that we saw coming from Solana futures ETFs or XRP futures ETFs, but is much lower than the Bitcoin and the Ether spot ETFs that we're used to seeing, especially on their first day of trading. And this is coming from Bloomberg ETF analysts. It's interesting to note the benchmark ratios they're setting for performance expectations. So it looks like they're basically assets paired with BTC. So Solana BTC or ETH BTC. The ticker, which was the staking ticker for Solana, SSK, its day one volume of around $33.6 million was 82% less than the expected ratio against Solana BTC market cap ratio. This is in comparison to the first day of flows for ETH ETS volumes that ended the day just 25% less than the expected ETH BTC market cap ratio. So if this tells you anything, is that whilst, markets are still learning how to incorporate BTC, let alone, moving down the market cap to Ethereum and then onto other alternatives like Solana. So the interest is still highly BTC. And now they're starting to pick up Ethereum as well as Solana. But, the main focus here is BTC, if that gives you anything already insight anyway. But that is going to be it from me today, Ryan. I hope you have a lovely day. The sun's out. So yeah, all the makings are there for an absolute belter of a day today.
Likewise, my dear friend. Cam, thank you as always for everything you do and for giving us the updates. Listeners, thank you as always for tuning in. We'll see you all on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Have a great one.